Hello everyone, this is Darko 2012 with Global Government News. I'm reading an article that was posted on InfoWars today, January 6, 2009, by an Icelandic woman who's spearheading a cause, and it is called the Movement in the Icelandic Parliament. I'm going to read this, and I'm not going to leave any comments, but I just thought I would post this video for anybody out there that that doesn't live in Iceland or near there, or can do something as far as building awareness as far as their economic collapse, because they were one of the first ones to go. Um, Here we go. Editor's note: I'm not going to try to pronounce this name perfectly. I'm just going to say Birgitta is the leader of the movement, a group within the Icelandic Parliament, which has emerged from the mass struggle of Icelanders against the financial blackmail brought to bear against their country by the government in London and The Hague, with the backing of the IMF, in the wake of insolvency of three large Icelandic banks in the midst of the Lehman Brothers-AIG world financial panic of September-October 2008. Birgitta is a courageous leader in the fight for national sovereignty, independence, dignity, and the economic well-being and the future of our country. January 5th, 2010 is a historic day for the Icelanders. The Icelandic president, Olafur Ragnar Grimsson, had a tough decision to make and difficult choices to make: to listen to the 23% of the nation that signed a petition calling on him to put the state guarantee for $5.4 billion to be paid to the British and Dutch governments to a national referendum, or to ignore the nation and sign the bill for the government after the bill had been passed through the Parliament with a narrow vote on December 30th, 2009, after months of acrimonious debate, tainted with secrecy and dishonesty on the part of the government. Every day throughout the debate, new information would emerge, and documents would be leaked to local media or WikiLeaks. Yesterday, the people of Iceland finally had a chance to have something to say about their fate, because if the state guarantee is accepted, it will mean that Iceland will become like a third world country, spending its GDP largely on paying interest on foreign debt, which is exactly the goal of this new world economic order that Gordon Brown and all them are calling for, which is they want to they have deindustrialized the U.S., but they want to turn us into a third world nation because it's easier to control us. And it's actually considered a technocracy or scientific dictatorship, where they have machines running everything, and just a few ogres that are just smart enough to operate the machines, and as George Carlin said, just dumb enough to not be able to realize how bad they're getting fucked. So, pardon my French, but moving on here. Last summer, a bill for a state guarantee was passed that had a significant meaning not only for Iceland, but also for other nations around the world facing the same problems of private debt being forced on taxpayers. The bill included a reasonable and fair way of handling the interest and the debt. Icelanders would pay, but only a certain percentage of their GDP. And if there was to be if there were to be another financial black hole, they would not be paying during that time. Thus, it comes to no surprise that the Dutch and British governments reacted so swiftly with a condemnation of Iceland's citizens for having the audacity to think that they have the right to exercise their democratic rights and deciding for themselves what is the best economic interest of their nation. Let's also put this debt into perspective. 320,000 people live in Iceland. Each and every person on the island, including children and the elderly and disabled and poor, would have to pay around $30,000 under the bill. The danger, if Icelanders will accept this enormous burden, is that the entire welfare system would simply collapse with no money to run it. On January 5th, the Icelandic president had the courage, backed up by his nation, to place the interests of the people before that of the banks. Of course, there has been an incredible spin by the government-controlled media, attacking the nation and the president for this simple and fair demand. The UK and Dutch media were also full of misleading news, saying the nation had demanded not to pay and that we would become isolated. And there would be even suggestions that the British Navy should flex its muscles against this nation, which has no military, as if the terrorist act they imposed I'm sorry, as if the terrorist act they imposed on us was not enough during the darkest hour of our crisis to bring us further down. The spin is failing because people around the world are finally starting to hear our side of the story, and other suppressed nations have perhaps seen this as a sign they can also rise up against the, she calls it a corporocracy, I can't, corpocracy in our world, uh, with those with the money have a rule, have always won. Let's hope the nation will not be coaxed into fear of isolation. Let's hope that the people of the world will join in this experiment of letting interest of the peoples rise above the interests of the banks, corporations, and international bullies such as the IMF. We need your support. I will soon issue a comprehensive report on the entire uh, iSave saga. Love and Rage from Iceland. And like I said, I'm not going to pronounce her last name, but Birgitta, party group chairman for the movement in the Icelandic Parliament. And she says here, documentation. I appended links to the files about the iSave that were leaked to WikiLeaks, and which would show how the EU member states blackmailed Iceland into the same corner the government helped pushed into by accepting the iSave bill. This file also contains letters between the main financial advisor to the Iceland finance minister and Mark Flanagan of the IMF. And I'll try to post these links as well. That's all I have to say about this. I don't know if this video and this posting will help the people of Iceland and this woman's cause to help, um, save themselves or dig themselves out and avoid them from being coming financial slaves, right? Because that's the whole point of the IMF and the World Bank, which is to put us into total debt, which we're not already in with the Federal Reserve System, but here in the U.S., but to put you into total debt where they take over the resources. You cannot pay back what they owe, what they lent you, and that they basically put you into financial serfdom or servitude, where you're constantly paying on the debt, right? They will never be paid off. So kudos to her, and hopefully you guys enjoy this article. Thank you.